Welcome back to That's Life with John Carver. This is episode number 342. I called this episode The Squelching of Frustration. Now, what does squelch mean? It means to strike or press with crushing force, to crush down, to squash, or to put down, suppress, or silence. This advice in this episode is from my own experience. In fact, most of what I share is from my own experience. Many people struggle with trying to control their frustration during, frustrating moments. The choices when you are frustrated include two choices, really. Number one is exploding on everyone around you because of the frustration you're feeling at the moment, or not exploding on other people because of the frustration you're feeling at the moment. It's essential to understand that the people around you probably are not experiencing really that kind of frustration at the same moment about the same situation as you. If you or I do explode emotionally on the people around us, we create emotional damage in their lives as a result of your or my need, in quotes, to explode instead of dealing with the frustration with some wisdom. I know, I get it. It's easier said than done sometimes. Squelching frustration for some of us is a daily habit as a result of a current situation. Squelching frustration is a signal to those around us that we love them more than our need to explode on them in times of considerable stress and frustration. Admittedly, and regretfully, I've exploded more than a few times in my life. In addition, there are some people who have no idea why you might be frustrated because they don't know your story and or your journey in life to know really what triggers why you're trying to squelch that frustration. This is why exploding on others is so harmful. Frustration is also a sign that you're not in the kind of control that you desire. This can be very emotional, especially for those of us who like to have control in our lives. Frustration can, however, cause us to work harder and smarter to find ways to achieve whatever goals that we might desire. So what's been helpful to me is calculating if the source of frustration was intentional or not intentional, and if the source of the frustration was my fault. Let me share that again. What's been helpful to me is calculating if the source of frustration was intentional or not intentional, and if the source of the frustration was my fault. When I realize that sometimes the source of frustration is my fault, I work really hard to squelch the frustration of exploding onto those in my life because it's not their fault that the source of the frustration was my fault. That can be really tough some days. I'm sure you've experienced it. So when the sources of your frustration is from someone else, I attempt to discover if they don't know that they don't know when they did something that frustrated me. In other words, are they so ignorant that they have no idea that they're frustrating me? So squelching frustration is not for the weak, but it is for the wise. So be one of the wise ones. Leverage your frustration and allow it to push through those tough times. Allow it to push you through those tough times without causing pain to those around you. If not, regret is going to be your bed partner. My name is John Carver. Thanks for watching.